You want to see something scary? You want to see something real scary? I found something scary. This chick scares the shit out of me, man.
All roads to the Trump assassinations lead to one thing alone. So we see some similarities between the shooters. Both were donors to Act Blue, a PAC for the Democrat Party. Both managed to get within 500 yards of Trump. Both attempts were followed by the mainstream media kind of oddly downplaying the severity of the situations. And most importantly, Crooks.
And they act like that nobody notices this. I think they know that everybody notices, but stupid people just keep pushing back.
Crooks was in a 2023 BlackRock commercial, and Routh was in a 2022 commercial for the Ukrainian militia that had been trained by the American CIA for the past decade.
Would you look at that?
And is funded.
This video gets worse.
Here's the explanation. So for context, Ryan Routh was a construction worker in North Carolina that moved to Hawaii, has a house and a business there that wasn't making any money, so he was listed as unemployed. But he really cared about standing for Ukraine, so this former construction worker with no income, operating entirely alone, ran a website offering Americans $1,200 a month to fight for Ukraine, was illegally moving Afghani soldiers fleeing from the Taliban in Pakistan and Iran to fight for Ukraine, dropped everything.
Where did he get the resources? Where did he get the money? Who helped him with this? Is he doing it all himself?
For months at a time to fly himself to Ukraine and flew to
Like
DC
how?
to lobby for Congress
He don't
to
got a job.
recruit soldiers for Ukraine. He also has about 100 criminal filings, including a 2002 arrest for possessing a weapon of mass destruction, as most construction workers do, and he obviously still has weapons, and not only is he still allowed to vote, but to vote in North Carolina as recently.
Don't worry. If guns are illegal and you can't get guns legally, then you ain't got to worry, because you ain't going to be able to get a gun.
As this year, even though he's a resident of Hawaii. And like most construction workers, he had 100.
This is a perfect example of criminals will still get guns. It doesn't matter if you tell them no. They will get them. And they will try and... The president.
Where Trump would be on a Sunday afternoon and was waiting at the golf course for 12 hours ahead of time, even though Trump's schedule was off the record. The most probable explanation is tied to BlackRock.
How about that?
In 2022, Routh was in a commercial that advertised the Yazov Battalion, which is a Ukrainian neo-Nazi militia trained by the CIA and funded by BlackRock. So what links Ukraine, the CIA, and BlackRock? Well, ever since the Cuban Missile Crisis, the dissolution of the Russian Empire has been an American priority because they have nukes aimed at us. Now, BlackRock essentially owns the US government, considering the top economic advisors for the Biden-Harris admin come from BlackRock. BlackRock wants the oil and rare metals in eastern Ukraine because it owns companies.
I've been saying this, that it's BlackRock and, what's the other company that's like BlackRock? They own everything. They run everything. Our country, multiple other countries, probably every country. They probably secretly run the world because everything's based on money, and they control the most.
Companies that sell oil and rare metals. So last year, BlackRock paid Ukraine $500 billion in exchange for all of Ukraine's main assets and put Ukraine in permanent debt to BlackRock. And since BlackRock owns our government, our CIA is BlackRock's personal military. And troubled souls like Routh and Crooks are groomed to be useful pawns that exist to look like random eccentric people and take the sole blame for carefully crafted crimes like attempting to extinguish the primary threat to the mega monopoly that not only runs our government, but the world. Hence, after Crooks died and was supposed to be examined by the House Task Force...
I'm going to start using the word extinguish in place of assassinate. There is a means to acquire anything, being it illegal or legal. Always will be. True.
The FBI took the body and cremated it in secret. Not only law enforcement knew until 13 days after. Nobody sat his parents down and asked them why their kid had bombs or how he got the money for this, and they never will. The crime scene was scrubbed. So if it wasn't obvious before, it should be obvious now that your government, the CIA, the FBI, the Secret Service are a unit. Not because they're all buddies and love each other, but because they're owned by the same people. So anyone that threatens them, regardless of party affiliation, is a target. So no wonder for years...
Mr. Sir says she makes too much sense. It is scary. Oh, buddy. Wait till you see what I'm about to show you next, because it gets even worse.
Years, people have said Trump would be assassinated, and no wonder they refused to give Secret Service protection to a Kennedy. This is the mega monopoly versus the people, and always has been. But thanks to private media, we know that now. So the attempt to shut down any resistance is going to be stronger than ever. This is the totalitarians versus we the people. So fight.
How about that? How about that? That's some scary shit. That's some real scary shit. But oh, it gets worse.
But I also think there are Americans who are engaged in this kind of propaganda. And whether they should be civilly or even in some cases criminally charged is something that would be a better deterrence, because boosting Trump.
Excuse me? Excuse me? Did you say you're going to start locking up citizens for propaganda? Because I'm pretty sure that's free speech, you fucking evil bitch. Holy shit.
He has lost his privileges, and it should.
Why is that only playing in the left ear?
The bottom line is that you can't say that you have one rule for Facebook and you have a different rule for Twitter. The same rule has to apply, which is that there has to be a responsibility that is placed on these social media sites to understand their power. They are directly speaking to millions and millions of people without any level of oversight or regulation, and that has to stop. He has lost his privileges, and it should be taken down. And the bottom line is that you can't say that you have one rule for Facebook and you have a different rule for Twitter. The same rule has to apply.
That's
which
crazy.
Is that there has to be a responsibility that is placed on these social media sites to understand their power. They are directly speaking to millions and millions of people without any level of oversight or regulation. And that
Trying to regulate our speech. Literally what she's saying right there. And I don't even know who this one is.
Even if we were to have a result.
Apparently this is a New York Democrat calling for Trump supporters to be put in re-education camps.
Blue wave come through, as many of us would like, putting it all back together again after we've gone through this MAGA nightmare. And re-educating, basically, which that sounds like a rather a re-education camp. I don't think we really want to call it that. I'm sure we can find another way to. Even if we were to.
Yeah, she says implement re-education camps for Trump supporters. Mr. Sir says they are the ones that need re-educated. Yeah. I'll show him some re-education. I did the fist because I don't have a gun near me, or I would have pulled a gun. I mean, I do have a gun near me. Don't come near me.